That's when they signed the check. And then I had to go to like a bunch of parties with Clive Davis. Like,
I said there was a party at Clive Davis's house, and that's where the story began.
I know some guys who worked personally with Clive Davis, and they had to leave him before they hurt him.
Clive Davis has just dropped a massive bombshell, sending a chilling warning to young rappers about Diddy.
In order for me to sign my deal, I had to sit down at a table with Clive Davis, and they had to look at Clive and say, "What do you think about this?" And he was like, "Oh, man."
With decades in the music industry, Davis knows where all the skeletons are buried, hinting that Diddy's infamous freak-offs and questionable connections could be more dangerous than anyone thought.
But he got that catalog. He got that catalog, and he's been making money off of it.
Rumors are swirling about Diddy's dark connections and the dangerous path new artists may find themselves on if they get too close. Why is Davis blowing the whistle now? And what are the sinister details he's trying to warn new artists about? Let's dive into the revelations that have everyone talking.
Interregnum entered into a relationship with a man. And I just revealed that because that's what the facts were.
Sources close to Clive Davis have revealed that the iconic record executive hasn't been sleeping well lately. He's haunted, not by ghosts of his past successes, but by what he and Diddy allegedly got up to behind closed doors. That's right. Clive Davis and Diddy weren't just business partners. The whispers say they were lovers. Yes, the same Clive Davis, who has been open about his bisexuality in recent years, is said to have had a romantic relationship with Diddy, and it's these very memories that are keeping him up at night. Clive is freaking out, says one insider. He's terrified that the truth might come out. And what truth is that? That their relationship wasn't just about music and money. It was about passion, desire, and possibly even manipulation. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Diddy, known for his flashy lifestyle, endless partying, and undeniable business acumen, has always surrounded himself with beautiful women. But there have always been rumors circulating in certain circles about his preferences behind the scenes.
And there was some women around, awesome men around, that he told you were part of the party, you're probably going to jail.
For years, there have been whispers that Diddy's real interests lie elsewhere, with sources alleging that his parties weren't just wild. They were wild in ways the public might never have imagined. And now it seems that Clive Davis has reached a breaking point, unable to keep his silence any longer. But why is Clive Davis speaking out now? According to multiple sources, Davis has been quietly observing how Diddy continues to handle young talent in today's hip-hop landscape, and he's not impressed. In an exclusive interview, a close associate of Davis reveals Clive has seen too many artists, especially young rappers, get chewed up by the industry machine. He's watched what's happened with Diddy over the years, and frankly, he's tired of staying silent. Davis reportedly decided to break his silence after hearing alarming accounts from some of Diddy's former protégés. These young rappers, who had once been lured by the promise of fame, fortune, and bad boy stardom, have painted a picture that Davis can no longer ignore. Stories of iron-clad contracts, financial manipulation, and, of course, the infamous freak-off parties, where the lines between business and pleasure became blurred beyond recognition.
I would show up to the party in my little in a little town car. There's town, you know. I grabbed a town car so I could skirt. Puff the SUVs and the Bentleys.
However, we all know that Diddy is a business genius, no doubt about that. But what Davis is warning young rappers about is something deeper than just business savvy. It's about the way Bad Boy Records and Diddy have allegedly treated artists, especially those new to the game. An anonymous source who once worked closely with Bad Boy says, "These kids get signed, they're living the life. Penthouse suites, parties, girls, the works. But when it comes down to the paper, they're signing away their future without even knowing it. Diddy knows the game, but these young rappers don't. And who doesn't know about Diddy's freak-off parties? These invite-only events, described by some as lavish and exclusive, have become the stuff of industry legend. Even Usher claimed that he is the witness of what happened at Diddy Wild freak-offs.
I went there to see the lifestyle,
right?
And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at.
But Clive Davis isn't laughing. In his most recent remarks, Davis didn't shy away from mentioning these wild parties, implying that young rappers were often thrown into environments where they might not fully understand what they were getting into. One insider who has attended one of these events tells it like it is. "I've been to a couple of Diddy's parties. It's not what people think. It's bigger, crazier, and yeah, it can get a little freaky. There's so much pressure on these young artists to fit in and keep up. The implication here? That these freak-offs might have been more than just a night of fun. They could be part of a larger pattern where young artists, dazzled by the glitz and glamour of Diddy's world, end up making deals they'll regret for the rest of their lives. And if you don't know, the relationship between Clive and Diddy reportedly began during the golden age of Bad Boy Records.
Diddy and Clive Davis, have they ever had anything past business?
As Diddy was rising to the top of the hip-hop world, Clive, already a music titan, saw something in him. Not just potential, but an attraction. They say that their bond was more than professional. It was intimate. Clive helped Diddy navigate the treacherous waters of the music industry, but in return, Diddy gave Clive access to a world he hadn't seen before, a world of late-night parties, high-flying excess, and yes, those infamous freak-off parties. These freak-off parties have become the stuff of legend in the industry, where anything and everything was rumored to go down. But the real action, according to sources, happened behind closed doors, where Diddy allegedly pursued relationships that went far beyond mentorship. His interest in young male rappers was something people spoke about in hushed tones, afraid to say too much for fear of career-ending repercussions.
Everyone that is mentored under him have become victimizers, liars, thieves, and probably worse things than that.
But he got a boss too, and his boss name is Clive Davis. Clive run him. Diddy don't run himself.
And it seems Clive Davis is haunted by the role he played in the secret world. Now, the question on everyone's mind, how deep does this relationship go? And how much of Diddy's success is tied to his behind-the-scenes exploits?
He loves the ability to manipulate and control people. Why? Most likely because he was victimized by his mentor.
Rumors have swirled for years that some of the biggest names in hip-hop may have been lured into Diddy's world with promises of fame, only to find themselves trapped in a web of manipulation, SX, and power. For Clive Davis, the recent comments about the exploitation of young rappers weren't just a warning, they were a confession. Davis knows firsthand what Diddy is capable of, and he's terrified that the young artists today are walking straight into the same trap that so many before them have fallen into.
Everyone that is mentored under him have become victimizers, liars, thieves, and probably worse things than that.
Meanwhile, Diddy has remained eerily silent. Despite the growing rumors, the whispers about his preferences, and now Clive's bombshell warning, Diddy has yet to issue a public response. But those close to him say that the silence isn't out of fear, it's strategy. Diddy knows how to navigate controversy. He knows how to handle this. He's been in the game too long to let something like this take him down.
He loves the ability to manipulate and control people. Why? Most likely because he was victimized by his mentor.
And it's true, because he has always attracted a lot of negative attention because of his power-hungry attitude. He is accused of having tight links with influential people who've helped him stay at the top for a long time and are continuing to do so. The prime example is his mentor, Clive Davis. The fact that Diddy claimed to have given sexual favors to keep Bad Boy Records floating at the top has further helped prove these suspicions. People also have certain claims about how Diddy's record company made it big in the industry. For decades, people have talked about how Diddy got his 1994 deal by being on his knees for Clive Davis. So how does Clive fit into this picture? Well, he framed the picture in the first place, because this 90-year-old music producer has already come out of the closet. Yes, after 2 heterosexual failed marriages, Clive admits that he has queer sexual preferences.
After my second marriage failed, because I had been 100% heterosexual up until that point.
This astonishing revelation has brought out startling reactions from the audience and fellow musicians. A fan commented, "I find it interesting that Clive decides to come out at this time. He could have lived out his life in secrecy and none the wiser. Strange world we are living in." At the same time, it helped the audience understand how the dynamics in the Hollywood industry work. Clive ruled over the music industry and introduced us to many stars, including P. Diddy. This game of transfer of powers indicates that to stay at the top of the game, you have to bow in front of the gods of time, like Diddy did in front of Clive. But now it seems like the tables have turned. The master has given control to his learners, and this is what Jaguar Wright also mentions about Diddy.
He loves the ability to manipulate and control people. Why? Most likely because he was victimized by his mentor.
As fishy as Miss Wright knows everything is, we can't deny that her accusations are prone to a ton of speculation. After all, what business does an old man have with a 23-year-old young boy to have supported his music career as much as Clive did Diddy? They must have been in a relationship for sure. Additionally, her other indictments seem reasonable too. When a person experiences suppression and domination for a long time, that lifestyle becomes a part of his personality. The only change is that instead of being submissive, you become the one inflicting superiority upon others, which in worse cases escalates to criminal tendencies. This mentor-mentee turned love interest is the reason Diddy has made it this big in the industry and has stayed in the ocean full of sharks for so long. He had the best teacher after all, but it does not stop there. Diddy has made his life goal to take all his master's ways and apply them to his own life in one way or another. Let's not forget the time when Diddy acted suspiciously at a party with Fabulous.
Yeah, I love this drink.
Where you put my bag
I like
at?
when you like this, Daddy.
Yeah, where you put my bag
Daddy,
at?
I like when you scrambling and
here.
scraping for shit.
No, I got no
like
juice.
that.
You can clearly see Diddy calling Fabulous Daddy while he was drunk, but Diddy has denied ever being at a party with Fab. During the interview, the Bad Boy Records founder additionally insisted he never really partied with Fabulous, to which Fabulous replied, "We partied for my birthday before. You came to my party." Later in an interview with The Breakfast Club, Fab came clear saying, "He said something to me a long time ago at Chris Lighty's wedding. He told me he'd take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You gon' make me mess up the wedding." No, that's something a guy says to a girl. Even fans have a similar reaction to Diddy's inconspicuous flirting with Fab. One of them wrote, "Yeah, Diddy is flat out telling Fab he wants to get with him and asking why it hasn't happened. And Fab is like, no, WTF, and you can see he's super uncomfortable and wanting to GTFO of there. Diddy sound like a woman asking a man why he hasn't called her." Diddy also confirmed in a roundabout way that this incident did happen. He did ask Fab to shop. In an interview with Breakfast Club, he said
you did the same thing to him. You asked him to take him shopping.
Yeah, I thought he needed some clothes.
Well, that was not the same way people would ask their co-artists to go shopping. It was definitely more than what Diddy is trying to downplay. To add to that, the Get Rich or Die Trying rapper took aim at Diddy, calling him out of Instagram for being gay. He wrote in his now deleted post saying, "Currently recovering from pettiness. Sorry I can no longer help you guys. Soon you will all be gay and happy. You are all now left under leadership of Puffy Daddy. Report to the nearest rainbow." Diddy has also hit on a lot of the straight artists in the hip-hop world, such as 50 Cent. 50 Cent is not one to shy away from talking about the truth. So when Diddy hit on him, you better believe 50 Cent was going to recall the whole story in the media.
Okay. You're telling me we got to kick it and he's like, yo, why don't we go shopping or some shit? I mean, I pay for it. And I was like, what the this just say?
Diddy has a reputation of taking his love interests shopping. Looks like shopping is his direct hint of letting the other person know that he finds them attractive and wants to sleep with them. So when Diddy offered to take 50 Cent shopping, he was rightfully taken aback. Luckily, 50 Cent was already at that point in his career where he didn't feel threatened turning down these aggressive advances by the hip-hop mogul. Diddy's former bodyguard also recalled some interesting stories where Diddy went shopping in an exotic bookstore with him. Gene Deal, his bodyguard, naively expected him to buy normal P magazines, but Diddy wasn't there for just magazines. He ended up buying B-plugs.
He picked up some things from up here on my left side, and then he picked quite a few of them down. I was like, okay. He put them in the bag. So when I went by there and I looked up there, and it said plugs.
Not only this, Gene even once caught him having S with another young rapper in a hotel room. The two had to come out of the room with just towels wrapped around themselves. Even then, Diddy was rather unfazed and didn't seem to mind that Gene had seen them together.
Grabbing his towel, but they butt the naked. And so then Jai was like, yo, what's going on? Yo, G, that's my cousin. He know me well.
These allegations against Diddy aren't just baseless rumors either. In fact, he has even been questioned by the federal investigators regarding him having S relations with underage boys. Most of these were young rappers he had forced into performing gay S with him because he had the influence to make or break their music careers. This came after it was revealed that Diddy slept with a teenage usher. When Diddy was in his late 20s, he and a then 15-year-old usher used to sleep in the same bed at night. Although Diddy tried to handle the situation and make it sound less weird, we can't think of one reason why it would be appropriate for a grown-up Diddy to be sleeping in the same bed as a teenage usher.
My brother right here from day one, we used to wake up and, damn, pause, but like just out. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes.
Usher also revealed he and Diddy would attend sexual orgies when Usher was 15, which is a crime in the United States and most nations with laws concerning minors. Diddy even forced a teenage Usher into drugs and alcohol. When Usher was asked whether he would ever send his kids to a place like Diddy's, he was very quick to respond no.
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Hell no.
Another rapper, Xzibit, has also come out to share his terrifying experience with Diddy. After having a fantastic night at his house, Diddy brought him out clubbing, and it wasn't until later that they found out this club wasn't like any other club they'd been to before. Instead, it turned out to be a pretty blatant gay bar.
So then we go to the house, and then, he invited us to the house because he wanted to go to the club afterwards, right? I was like, okay, cool.
Xzibit was obviously attempting to party and have a good time at the club when someone brought to his attention the fact that the men there were kissing one another. Xzibit was stunned, but he didn't give it much thought until he saw another man dancing BTT naked in the middle of the club.
She pointed over the corner. It's two dudes kissing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, the is this?
And not only this, but Xzibit also hinted toward his very terrible encounter with Diddy when he got dragged into the party.
I was like, hey man, that girl you about the girl you. I was like, yeah, nigga, yeah, everybody know, but you know what I'm saying? What's happening? He's like, that's the devil, man.
Diddy has the audacity to ask his victims about the girls too, and afterward show them the real show that usually goes on at his parties. After that, he even told a peculiar tale of Diddy saying some words about Superhead.
So Puffy tells you
she will videotape you with fingers in the booty. And I was like, what the does that mean?
Yeah,
what
does that mean?
So then I go back in the house and I ask her, what the are you talking about?
What is the point of saying anything about any other person when they are not even bothering you? But this is Diddy, who always shows himself as superior to the younger rappers. And Xzibit also admitted that right now, Diddy might have had an episode with Superhead. He said, I guess he got some prior incident with her that he don't want nobody to know about. The rapper Jaguar recalls one such incident where someone walked in on Diddy, making the new singer Christopher Williams go down on him.
The door wasn't locked, so she didn't think twice about just walking in. And when she walked in, she saw Christopher Williams performing fellatio on Puff.
It's one thing to perform. S acts with doors unlocked, but Diddy was even more unashamed. He didn't bother stopping either.
From what she said to me, it was disturbing because, they didn't stop.
Well, Diddy is a strange man, and strange things turn him on. One of Diddy's favorite things to do is luring straight men into his cars and making them have sex with him. He did the same thing to rapper Method Man in LA. Method Man was sitting in a club in LA when Diddy approached him. Diddy must have been attracted to him because he then proceeded to hit on him in a rather weird way. Instead of communicating properly and then inviting Method Man to his place like a normal person, he decided to send someone else to trick him into sitting in the car. Maybe this is like a game for Diddy, and he enjoys putting these straight men in uncomfortable positions. Well, Diddy has never openly admitted to his attraction to men, but he's also unafraid of being caught acting his fantasies out. In fact, in private parties and events, he very openly acts gay. Even Queen Latifah agreed that she and Tupac would go to perform in gay clubs, and Pac would enjoy himself to the fullest. Well, being label mates for a long time, Tupac and Latifah did have a strong friendship, so the chances of these allegations being true are significantly high.
At this cool gay club in San Francisco, I was like, yo, I'm here. He's like, yo, I'm gonna hook up with you. So Tupac came to the club with me, and I was like, yo, come on, Tupac is in the building. They went crazy in there.
Looks to me like Tupac was pretty familiar with gays, that he had no hesitation in going topless in a gay bar. Well, to add to that, Gene Deal was convinced that before the beef started, Tupac and Diddy were in a very intimate relationship.
Pac and Puff was like this.
But if you do realize, then Diddy is just one part of a whole industry that flourishes on manipulating and abusing these young men. Harlem rapper Smart talks about this trend in the music industry where new artists are abused and blackmailed at the hands of music executives and record producers, much like Diddy.
Because they can't do nothing. You know why they can't do nothing? Let me say his last thing. They can't do nothing because the record labels, the execs, they date these artists.
They give them transformers, so they get high.
These executives videotape these young artists after forcing them to perform S actions. This way, the artists have no choice but to do whatever these labels ask of them, oftentimes ending up signing contracts they never want.
Look, bro, it just happened right in front of you. Then with TDE, bro. You feel me?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, how you got a video out, you sucking and somebody sucking your That's how the music business is, bro.
Many young artists find themselves in a tight spot where the only way to break into the industry is to first allow themselves to be used by the predatory music executives. Many of these young men have accepted this fake and become numb to it, just like the rapper Daylit.
Yeah, I Diddy. I'm not gonna front. I'd the shit out of Diddy. Like, I'm just keeping it a buck, like, you know what I'm saying?
The industry is a ruthless place to navigate, especially for young artists. The bigger names in the industry want favors that can leave these young men traumatized and violated. Rapper Ali Vegas talked about this in his interview. These young rappers were violated so often as if it wasn't even a big deal.
That's you telling them, like, yeah, I'm ready. And then next thing you know, you get invited to the party where the greeting is the man squeezing your Whoa!
This is a sort of currency that works in the music world, where young artists have to sell their bodies to be able to put their music out into the world. As more and more details emerge about Diddy's private life, the music industry is left to wonder. How much of his success was built on exploitation? How many young rappers were lured into his world with promises of fame, only to find themselves in situations they never expected? People think it is cowardly of Diddy to still pretend to be straight after being involved in gay situations using young artists. One person wrote, "I hate how people are saying no. Diddy was just having Usher have S with groupies who were older than him when he was like 14 years old." Pause, because that's R too. For young rappers today, the message is clear. Be careful. The music industry is a dangerous place, filled with people who will promise you the world only to take everything from you in return. And with Clive Davis now lifting the lid on Diddy's empire, the truth may finally be coming to light. However, some people chose to sympathize with Diddy's family, as one of them wrote, "I feel bad for Diddy's children, because when all his hot mess shit comes out, it's not going to be a happy day for them. Diddy has been a hot mess and I don't even know him, but what is already out is horrible. Money isn't everything. When you are a child and have to face your parents' truth that is bad, face the public. Face friends and family is priceless. Money has no meaning. This may affect them mentally and physically. People are cruel and have no limit to expressing mess." One of them even went on to say, "Diddy will come out in the next 5-10 years. They need to have a surviving Clive and Diddy." Some other people have simply chosen violence in response to this fiasco. A hater who has had enough made a nasty predicted saying, "Diddy will go down. It's just a matter of time." Is this the beginning of the end for Diddy, or just another chapter in his larger-than-life story? One thing is certain, the music industry will never be the same. That's it for today, folks. Until next time, goodbye.